Hey guys, Mr. Moody here. Our lesson today on writing your human interest story is about how thinking small can make a big impact with your writing. You're probably wondering what in the world I mean by that, so I'm going to ask that before we do anything, you stop. Now, before we go any further, I want you to stop and I want you to take out your Greg Doyle writing. I want you to take out the article that we did all our highlighting and annotating on. So I will give you a second to do that, but I would press pause on this video while you do that so you don't miss anything. All right, so the big trick that I want you to learn about today is short sentences. So I'm going to have you focus on the following. Focus on sentences that are 5 words or less. 5 words or less. And when we find them, what I want you to do is I want you to go into the Doyle article and I want you to do a squiggly underline with your pen. I don't care what color you use. You could use red, you could use black, green, pink, whatever. But do a squiggly underline under any sentence that you can find that's 5 words or less. Stop the video right now and go ahead and do that. So now that you've done that, you've gone through and you've done a squiggly underline under all of the sentences in the entire article that are 5 words or less. I want you to focus on the ones in the beginning. So you see some in there in the paragraph where he is working out. Man alive, this guy's dedicated. 50 push-ups a day, weights at the gym, cardio at home in Carmel. Those lines is just kind of short, choppy character building. Okay? So one thing you can do in your writing today is add some short sentences that describe the characters or the main character in your story at the beginning. Okay? That's one thing that I want you to do. Make a note of that in your notebook today, that's one thing you're going to do is character building by adding short sentences at the beginning of your writing. Now, for those of you who are really attentive, you'll see there are a couple other sentences at the end of the beginning. He should be on TV, not in this ambulance. That adds some conflict. So by thinking small and doing some short sentences equal, when you're talking about conflict, they create drama or suspense. So short sentences equal drama. In your beginning, I also want you to find a spot where you can add a couple of short sentences under 5 words to build some drama around your conflict. Okay, we're going to move on to the middle of the article and look at some of the sentences that he uses. Sort of in the next section, he sprinkles in some short sentences just to keep it from getting too boring. When we're talking about the past and some things in his history, sprinkle in some short sentences along with the longer ones. But then we see a bunch of them. We see a bunch of them when we get down to the conflict again. Okay, so when we get into the conflict, I want you to add more drama with more short sentences. Now, look in your article where you saw some of those sentences towards the end of the middle section, where it's him. Let's see. I'm looking for some right now. He knows these signs, but this can't be right. He eats healthfully. And even when we're describing the game, it's these short, choppy sentences to show the drama of the scene. Shortstop, Max Moroff hits second. Keller stops writing. Or Kelman stops writing. As we go further down, it's Howard Kelman walks the walk. He's usually smiling in there, but he's having a heart attack. as things get more intense, we see the words, we see the short sentences. More short sentences equals more drama. And so whenever you are identifying conflict, whenever you're writing about the conflict in your story, like that's something that you really need to think about how you're building drama by adding in some short sentences. And the more short sentences you use, the more dramatic it is, the more attention your reader's going to pay to that section. All right, finally, we're going to talk about the end of the writing and how thinking small can help you in the end of your story. Basically, what I want you to focus on trying to do at the end is finding one or two key sentences to capture the big idea or lesson of your story. The one I really like in the Doyle article is where it says, Kelman believes. Kelman believes. I love that. Just one sentence, 2 words. Kelman believes. And by having that one short sentence, I zero in on that as the reader. Like, that's what I really zoom in on, as that's important. He believes, and so it makes me feel hopeful. It tells me something about him as a character and as a person, which is really important to the story. You know, that hope is important, and that hoping for the best and working for a better future, all those things are important. So what are one or two sentences that you could add in your conclusion, sort of at the end of your writing, that zero in on that big idea or that lesson in your writing? 2 main goals for you today while you write, to kind of sum things up. Number 1, I want you to think small in the beginning, middle, and end of your writing by finding spots where you can use small sentences, short, under 5-word sentences, to have a big impact in your writing. And then finally, I really want you to focus on getting creative. You're never finished with the piece of writing. So sit and think, how can I make this piece of writing more interesting? You know, go back in and read through Greg Doyle's piece of writing and look at some of the things he does. But don't just sit there and think that you're finished. Be creative, stretch your imagination. How could you make your story more interesting and more vivid with details and creativity? I will see you guys next class. Thank you for working hard today. Bye.